Every day, thousands of tourists come here. But while some are absolutely thrilled, others are sure they wasted their money. So is it really worth coming to this hotel? Let's find out. Welcome to Ali Baba Palace in Hurghada. Ali Baba Palace is one of the most vibrant and memorable 4-star all-inclusive hotels in Hurghada. I was immediately greeted by a huge area filled with palm trees, pools, and fountains. At Ali Baba Palace, you can spend a relaxing day by the sea or enjoy the large pool with animation and bars. The spacious rooms are decorated in warm tones and are perfect for both families and couples. The hotel's restaurants serve aromatic Egyptian and international dishes, as well as seafood. For children, there is a water park with slides and play areas, while adults can unwind in the spa or join evening shows. The hotel rating is 4.3 on Google and 4.2 on TripAdvisor. However, even such a popular hotel has its downsides, which can significantly influence your decision. Let's take a closer look at all the pros and cons of this hotel so you can make the right choice. But before we start, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channel and support this video with likes and comments. Thank you. The first thing I was curious about when I arrived at the hotel was, of course, the beach. But my impressions were mostly disappointing. The water is clear and warm, but near the shoreline, there are many stones and corals, making it difficult to walk barefoot. I recommend bringing special water shoes, otherwise you'll have to buy them in local shops. You can use the pier that leads to deeper water, and from there it's easy to swim, although its condition raises some questions. One of the main issues was the lack of sunbeds on the beach. For example, by 9 in the morning, most of the spots were already occupied with towels, so I had to walk around searching for a free one. I got the impression that the beach is shared by several hotels, so it was almost always crowded. On the positive side, there was plenty of shade thanks to umbrellas, and a nearby bar offered cold water and juice, perfect for cooling off in the heat. The wind often blew along the shoreline, sometimes raising waves. I noticed that people went further away from the private area for diving and snorkeling, so keep in mind that the beautiful coral reef starts about 100 meters from the shore and boats regularly go there. Overall, the beach is fine, but because of the rocky bottom and competition for sunbeds, I didn't find it very comfortable. However, unlike the beach, the hotel's territory managed to impress me. The hotel grounds are massive. It's like a real resort town. Ali Baba Palace is part of a complex of several hotels, and guests can use the facilities of the neighboring ones, including the beach and water park. I spent almost my entire second day at the water park. There are many slides of different heights, separate areas for kids and adults, lazy rivers, and a huge pool that, as I was told, is one of the largest in Hurghada. The water was clean, but after noon it became quite crowded. I really liked the territory. Everywhere you look, there are green lawns, palm trees, and flowering bushes, and at night, everything is beautifully illuminated. The well-kept alleys and decorative fountains deserve special mention. Electric carts help guests move between buildings, but there are too few of them. Sometimes I had to wait 10 to 15 minutes to get to the restaurant, which can be inconvenient for elderly guests. Besides the water park, there is a bowling center, mini golf, 2 tennis courts, beach volleyball courts, and even a water sports center. Overall, the territory is excellent, spacious, green, clean, with beautiful pools and a great water park. But I did have some questions about the food. Ali Baba Palace has several restaurants and bars, including the main buffet, Italian and Oriental restaurants, and pool snack bars. The description promised variety, breakfast, lunch, and dinner buffet with themed evenings. In reality, the selection of dishes was rich, but after a few days I noticed the menu repeated itself. The Italian restaurant offered pasta and pizza, but with few options and rather simple presentation. The Oriental restaurant pleased me with hummus and pastries, but hot dishes barely changed from night to night. The main restaurant closes at 9 p.m., and several times I missed it by just 20 minutes. Breakfast, however, was great. Omelets made on the spot, fresh fruits, flatbreads, and good coffee. There are bars offering soft drinks and freshly squeezed juices. Mango juice became my favorite. I also enjoyed the themed dinners. One evening was dedicated to Egyptian cuisine with kebab and falafel, another to seafood. Overall, the food was tasty but not refined and lacked variety. However, my room really managed to surprise me considering it's just a 4-star hotel. My room was in the main building and looked like a typical family beach resort room. The description promised air conditioning, a balcony, minibar, and TV, and all of that was there. The balcony faced the garden. In the evening, it was quiet and pleasant. The room felt quite spacious. The beds were comfortable, and the air conditioner worked surprisingly well. Every day, my room was cleaned thoroughly. Towels were changed, a bottle of water was delivered, and towels were folded into swans and other shapes. The bathroom was clean, though the plumbing looked dated. The shower pressure was weak, and the door didn't close properly. The minibar was refilled every 3 days and contained only water and soft drinks. Alcohol was available only at the bars. There was no free Wi-Fi in the room. Internet works only in the lobby, which is very inconvenient, so don't forget to buy a SIM card at the airport. One downside I noticed was the thin walls. One evening, I had to listen to the neighbor's TV. Overall, the room met my expectations. Clean, spacious, and the air conditioning saved me from the heat. But what really matters most is the staff's attitude toward guests, and that turned out to be one of the hotel's biggest strengths. The staff at Ali Baba Palace turned out to be one of the hotel's main advantages. Their service rating was very high, and I understood why. The receptionists were always smiling, helpful, and spoke several languages. During check-in, they explained where the restaurants were, how to use the water park, and what was included in the package. The bartenders joked around and tried to remember our favorite drinks. Sometimes the line was long, but they served everyone quickly. The animators constantly invited guests to games and dances, but were never pushy. Housekeepers responded promptly to any requests, though a couple of times they forgot to bring shampoo. Overall, the atmosphere in the hotel was friendly. Even when I complained about a leaking shower, the plumber came within 10 minutes. The only noticeable issue was the lack of staff during dinner and around the pool, which led to long queues. However, the warm attitude and smiles of the staff made up for these small shortcomings. And now, let's talk about entertainment, because without it, vacations can get boring, right? To be honest, I wasn't very impressed by the animation at Ali Baba Palace. During the day, there were aerobics, volleyball, and water gymnastics at the beach and pool. Guests could also enjoy bowling, mini golf, and 2 tennis courts. Bowling was paid separately, but in the evenings, it was quiet and easy to play. At night, near the main stage, the animators organized dance shows, contests, and foam parties. On some days, the program was quite interesting. Acrobats, fire shows, and musical performances. Those evenings were truly memorable and created a festive atmosphere. But on other days, it was dull. A couple of contests and a disco with outdated songs, after which most guests went back to their rooms. It seemed that the level of entertainment depended a lot on the animation team and the number of guests. There's also a disco until 2 in the morning, but the nearby bar often didn't have enough seats. One of the main highlights of the hotel is its family-friendly atmosphere. Ali Baba Palace positions itself as a family resort. There's a children's pool, a kids club, and a water park. My kids love the slides. There are safe low ones for little children and more extreme ones for teenagers. Lifeguards are always on duty at the water park. The kids club is open almost all day. Children do crafts, paint, make decorations, and join mini quests. The animators are attentive, speak several languages, and genuinely care about the kids. We could easily leave them there for a couple of hours while we went to the gym. Every evening there was a mini disco. The little ones danced, copied the animators' moves, received small prizes, and took pictures. My stay at the 4-star all-inclusive Ali Baba Palace in Hurghada was enjoyable, though not perfect. On the one hand, the hotel has everything you need for a family vacation: a spacious green area, a large water park, great facilities for kids and friendly staff. I especially liked that the children were entertained all day, having fun on the slides, playing in the kids' club, and enjoying mini discos in the evenings. At the same time, there were some drawbacks. The beach was uncomfortable due to the rocky bottom, sunbeds were often unavailable, and the food, despite being plentiful, became repetitive. The rooms were clean and cozy, but the lack of in-room Wi-Fi and outdated plumbing slightly spoiled the overall impression. Entertainment at Ali Baba Palace largely depended on the animation team and the guests' mood. Nevertheless, thanks to the friendly atmosphere and staff's efforts, you truly feel like a welcomed guest here. I would recommend this hotel to families with children and to those looking for a budget-friendly vacation with good service but without luxury. Friends, the final choice is always yours. Only you can decide whether this hotel is worth visiting or not. And while you think about it, I recommend watching our other videos about Egyptian hotels. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our new reviews. And with that, I say goodbye. See you soon at the next hotel.